Good morning, everyone from Denmark. We actually got in yesterday, but as you can imagine, it being a travel day, we were one, totally beat up, and two, we just kind of wanted to set our things down, get to know a little bit of the hotel that we're staying, and then headed out for dinner later on at night. Rudy is actually a little sick, so we definitely wanted to take it very slow, especially the first day getting in. So today is our first full day of exploring here in Copenhagen, and I wanted to bring you guys along and share with you a little bit of the city and what we do, where we eat, sort of the same style that I do with all of my travel vlogs. But of course, we're gonna start with coffee. We are currently on our way to breakfast, and it's funny because yesterday we came to grab a quick snack when we got to Copenhagen in this same street, and it was completely different. Like, it's one of those streets that I feel every country has, that it's like that popular street that you catch all the tourists in, and it's just a bunch of like little tiny stores. So that's exactly what this was yesterday, but so much more people were here than there is today in the morning. All right, so bellies have been filled. Good breakfast?
Good breakfast.
We had a, I guess, typical Danish breakfast. Some pastries and of course a coffee. We definitely need to get a bigger coffee though tomorrow morning because this one was a little bit too small for our liking. We are going to see Church of Our Savior. They say that if you climb up top, you see one of the nicest views of Copenhagen. So we are all about nice views. We really like going to like rooftops or really high spots in order to see the city from above. I hope my hair is not too much of a distraction, but it is so windy, you guys. It's a lot colder than we actually expected it to be. So so we are back down. How was it?
It was cold and windy, and very, what is it? Stretch?
Slim?
No, stretch?
Slim.
There you go, slim.
Yes, the last step, I think I caught a clip, so I'll share with you guys, was literally like just your 2 feet can fit in there. It was kind of also, I was telling Rudy that seeing people being so scared up there, I'm not scared of heights whatsoever, but in a way it started freaking me out a little bit. So it was interesting to say the least. There's a total of 400 steps to climb all the way to the top, but the steps once again are very narrow. I would recommend that you think it through before you actually do it. You do need to book the tickets online, so I definitely recommend that because there was actually somebody trying to get in at the same time that we were going up, and unfortunately there were no slots available like right then and there. So now we're going to head over to Christiania. I believe that's how you say it. It is basically like a part of the town of Copenhagen where they have built sort of like their own town with their own rules and laws. So there are a few places that you could film, but there are certain places where they don't allow you to film. So I will capture whatever it is that I can just to share a little bit with you guys. And then after that, we do have some lunch reservations that we are heading to. We're actually gonna have some Mexican, which I know it's funny because we are in Copenhagen, but it is one of the top Mexican places to go visit. And I'm super excited because Mexican is actually one of my favorite foods. Hi guys, so we just left. I'm lying, we didn't just leave, we actually already stopped by another coffee shop to grab a coffee because it's very cold. But just wanted to recap Christiania for you all. We had just basically seen videos and read online more or less what it was about, but until you're in there you don't really get a feel for yourself of what it is. So it's just basically a community within Copenhagen that they have their own rules. They even had like a little like Home Depot, like a little convenience store. I don't know if it's just for the people in Christiania or if it's just for anybody that wants to go in there, but it was within that community. And as I mentioned, there were a few spots where once you wanted to walk in there, they said, you know, no photos, no videos, so on and so forth, because they are doing some illegal activities, so they don't want you filming that, I guess, and putting it out there.
Take my eyes open to force reality.
Good morning, guys. It is actually day 4 of Copenhagen exploring. Yesterday, I definitely did not pick up the camera to do anything. I'm kidding. I got some clips for you, which I'll recap in a little bit, but just wanted to more or less let you know about the hotel that we stayed in. It's called Malmo Lund Suites, and it's basically a slice of Bali in the city center of Copenhagen is how they describe it. It has like this Bali-like sort of decor throughout the pool area, and we just wanted to stay there for a few days just to be able to enjoy that. We did go into the pool one of the days that we were there, and then yesterday morning we did plan on going really early because there is a very Instagrammable picture that I wanted to get. So Rudy was a huge champ and woke up with me really early in order to get that. So once we finished there in the morning, we did check out and check into our other hotel, which is the SKT Petri. I'll make sure to leave everything linked down below, but that one is just a little bit nicer. It's more spacious since we are going to be in Copenhagen for about 5 more days. So after we finished checking in, we went to have some breakfast at a place called Bookcase, and they have more or less like pastries, and they also have sandwiches that you can choose from in order to have breakfast in the morning. And then afterwards we did go see the Little Mermaid, which if you've ever been to Paris and you visited the Louvre and seen the Mona Lisa, it is the exact same thing. It's kind of like expectation versus reality is completely different. But of course it was a spot that you had to go and check out. Then after seeing the Little Mermaid, we went to grab lunch at Gasoline Grill. They claim to have the best burger in the world, and I gotta say that the burger was really good. We kind of messed up a little bit because we did get fries with truffle salt, and if you've ever had truffle, it can definitely be a little bit overpowering, and it totally was. The rest of the day I definitely did not feel my best, but as for the burger itself, it was super delicious. It was very juicy. They have about 4 choices that you can pick from. We went with the basic, which is just a regular cheeseburger, and then we did get their homemade lemonade, which I highly recommend. We do have a little bit of things to do, but we've pretty much just planned a very chill kind of vacation here in Copenhagen. We went to have breakfast when we woke up, and now we are heading over to Tivoli Gardens. So we are currently wandering through Tivoli Gardens, or Tivoli. Now, Tivoli is a amusement park that has been around since 1843, so quite some time. It is definitely one of those things that you gotta do once you're here in Copenhagen. You do have to pay for the entrance to come inside. I believe it's $50 for both of us. And then there's also an option to get a pass to ride all the rides, or you can also choose to pay at the specific rides that you would like to just try if you wanted to go that route. Another fun fact is also that it is the 3rd oldest functioning amusement park in the world. So another reason why you definitely need to come visit if you are in Copenhagen. So we have found a ride for Rudy. He's very excited about it. It's gonna be this little one right here. They actually have a ton of rides, obviously for kids, but also for adults for you to get on. So it's pretty nice that not only is it really nicely decorated, but they also have a ton of rides for you to choose from as well. Hi guys, so we've actually made it now to a park. We left Tivoli Gardens and headed over to lunch. We had reservations at a spot where they're known for their open-faced sandwiches, and it was kind of more of a little bit of an upscale sort of restaurant that offered these. Rudy found it and we opted to go there since we are kind of having a very simple dinner tonight, and it was so worth it. The sandwiches were delicious. They just knew how to put certain ingredients together to make them super tasty. But right now we just made a quick stop over at another side of Copenhagen. I'll make sure to pop up, you know, the name somewhere here, and we just basically wanted to come because they do have a pretty cool park. It sort of has like black and white lines all throughout. It has like a really cool hill in the center, and you can totally tell that we are definitely away from like the touristy part of Copenhagen, and that's something that I love that we do when we travel, just kind of go more into like the deep insides of the city just to see more of like the local side. So we're just gonna hang out now here for a little bit, and then we do have dinner reservations, as I previously mentioned, at a restaurant that claims to have the best pizza in the world. So yesterday we had the best burger, tonight we're having the best pizza, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys and confirm after we have dinner there. Morning from Malmo, Sweden today. We just took a train over from Copenhagen. We had this planned in order to do a little side trip. So recapping on last night's dinner, the pizza was actually very good. We started off with 2 appetizers. We did their bread with olive oil, and then we got the mozzarella, which is a must. They say that you need to have and they give you a whole presentation as to how it is that it's made, and the mozzarella is made freshly every day at 2 p.m. and we did get it with a little bit of prosciutto, which added so much to the flavor. Now, as for the pizza we went with their classic, which also included a little bit of that mozzarella. But guys, the tomato sauce on that pizza was so fantastic. It was the best tomato sauce on pizza that I've ever had, and Rudy did claim that it was the best pizza you've ever had.
Better than Italy, honestly. And I love Italy.
That's a bold statement. So we really enjoyed dinner there. So as I said, today we are in Malmo and we opted to take a train. Now, key thing, and don't forget, bring your passport. We made it all the way to the train station in Copenhagen, and we've done side trips before, but we kind of hadn't realized that we basically do side trips within the same country. Malmo is in Sweden, which is obviously a different country than Denmark, and as we started looking online as to the exit that we needed to take, a lot of people said do not forget your passports. They didn't check for our passports on our way over here, but we thought it was better to be safe than sorry and just went back to the hotel and grabbed them. So we ended up taking the train from Copenhagen Central Station, and there is one that takes you all the way to Malmo Central Station. They leave about every 30 to 35 minutes, so we bought the tickets on site. It was 192 Danish krone, which I'll pop on the screen what that converted to. Good morning, guys. I have no idea where I left the vlog yesterday, but thankfully this isn't a travel channel. This is just a little vlog that I put together in order to share with you guys a few of the places that we visit, as well as keeping it as a memory for us to be able to see later on. So we ended up going to Malmo, as we had mentioned. It's a very small, cute city. We decided to head back home around 6 p.m. Then we called it an early night. We actually went back to the hotel and had dinner at the hotel restaurant. But today's plan is actually to head over to Lund. It is another small little city here in Denmark. I'm sure it's gonna be just as chill and relaxing as Malmo was, just walking around, doing a little bit of sightseeing, grabbing a coffee, and then heading back. We've made it to Lund. Lund.
And cities we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, definitely not. But we had a few days to spare in Copenhagen, so that's why we decided to do these side trips to Malmo and then now Lund. So it's basically going to be a very chill city. It's a very like college town. There's a lot of students. They have Lund University here, and many students attend from all over Europe. Would you say the world? All over the world. So just wanted to share with you guys this cute little facade here of this house. I had actually seen it on Instagram and I went crazy looking for it, and we just literally stumbled upon it as we were walking. I'll pop up a picture here of Rudy or I taking a shot there. So we're gonna continue walking around here, and then probably in the next 30 minutes or so look for a place to have lunch. So we just finished having lunch. We actually stopped at a little tiny falafel place that Rudy found. It actually had really good reviews. We didn't have anything planned. We figured we'd just walk around and then end up finding a place that we would like to just have lunch. And it did not disappoint. The guy was super nice. He thankfully spoke English. We try to learn like a few words here and there whenever we're traveling, but both Danish and Swedish, I'm sorry if I'm not saying the name of the language correctly, are a bit difficult. So we just kind of say hello and then ask if they speak English. And for the most part, everyone speaks English. And then after lunch, we just decided to take a little walk and head over to the Lund University, which is where we are now. We're just roaming around here, the campus, for a little bit. It is a beautiful building, to say the least. And then afterwards, there is a botanical garden, which has a really nice pastry shop. So we probably will just get a coffee and a pastry and then call it a day here and head back home. Good morning. It is an extra chilly day today, so we are definitely a little bit more cozied up than normal. We are actually now at the Carlsberg neighborhood. We wanted to go to the Carlsberg Museum, but it seems to be closed. I think it's for renovation. I know that when I checked online, it wasn't open the days that we were here. However, we still wanted to head over to the neighborhood because there are a couple of other things to see. We also just had breakfast at a cute little spot here in the Carlsberg neighborhood as well. And Rudy has found his new favorite dish. It is sourdough bread with butter and some cheese slices. If you are from Denmark, let us know exactly what cheese it is that they use for these sandwiches to see if we're able to make them once we are back home in Miami. So as you can see, we are currently at the Elephant Gate, which is a very iconic symbol here in Carlsberg, and it consists of 4 gigantic elephants. Now, one of them did have the swastika sign, so I was a little bit intrigued as to why that was. And I read up on it, and it's basically that the whole construction of the 4 elephants was done, or it was completed in 1901. So before that time, the swastika symbol actually meant luck and prosperity. So the reason why they put it was simply due to that. Afterwards, it was actually a symbol that the Carlsberg brewery also put in their beers, I believe. And after 1940, it was completely discontinued due to obvious reasons. Good morning, guys. We have our last day of exploring in Copenhagen, but of course I left you all hanging yesterday. So if you think I am the worst travel vlogger ever, please give me a thumbs up down below. So after we finished in Carlsberg, we just headed back to the hotel room, and I took a 3-hour nap, you guys. But I got up very refreshed, and then we headed out to dinner. We did make dinner reservations at a restaurant called Bar. It is actually located where the old Noma used to be. And if you didn't know, Noma has been voted the best restaurant in the world many times. So it was kind of cool to see just the place that they used to have that restaurant. We didn't make reservations in Noma, one, because they didn't have any availability. You have to make reservations there like months, almost years sometimes in advance. And second of all, even if they would have had reservations, they do seasonal menus. And at the time that we were here, it was a vegetarian menu. And unfortunately, that's just not what we enjoy eating. So we were just glad that we were able to get a reservation at Bar, because that one is also a very popular restaurant. We went for the schnitzel as our main dish, and they had this butter and capers sauce to go on top of it. That was, my mouth waters just talking about it now with you guys. So if you are here and you're celebrating a special event, or you just want to go somewhere and have a really great dinner, I highly recommend that one. I would say that Bar was definitely at the top of my restaurant picks for this trip. So today is our last day. We actually leave tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the morning back to London, because we do have a connecting flight, and then back home. We've had a fantastic time. It's definitely been a lot colder than we expected, but it's just been the wind. The weather itself has been nice. It's just whenever those Nordic winds come through, you definitely feel them in your bones. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new around here, we usually do a lot of videos on luxury handbags, reviews, sharing a few unboxings, and then I just sprinkle in some travel vlogs whenever we do go on vacation. So if you enjoy that type of content and the vibe around here, then I would love for you to consider subscribing down below. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Bye, everyone.